So as I was thumbing through the most recent issue of Texas Cache magazine, I came across an interesting article titled "A Prehistoric Stacked Artifact Cache from Bell County, Texas." But this article really caught my eye, specifically because 11 bifacial blanks were stacked on a broken metate, and they were found in Old Aken, now a ghost town of the submerged Tennessee Valley in the Belton Reservoir. The cache, along with some extensive notes, were tucked away for over half a century, unpublished until 2025. And as I was reading the article, my mind started to wander about the times that I had crafted numerous stone blanks and then cached them in various places in the mountains for, myself to use at a later date, whether it was on an earth roam or some sort of walkabout or in a general area hunting. But still, the idea of having stone resources, stone blanks on hand for my adventures, and when I would cache certain items, I wouldn't cache, 20 or 30, probably 3 or 4. The Old Aken site itself appears to have been occupied at several intervals. There are 3 snail and mussel lenses visible at numerous holes left open by relic hunters. The depth of this site ranges from 3 feet near the river to 6 inches at about 100 feet up the hill. The materials from this site indicate a late archaic occupation. The metate, which served as the base of this cache, is of native limestone and does not show the appearance of being stream-worn. The basin, although incomplete, appears to have been circular and about 17 centimeters in diameter. The basin shows considerable wear but does not seem to be worn out. Of the blanks that were recovered, they resemble a lot of the blanks that I typically make. As I have a bison butchering class or some sort of primitive skills class in the future, I make a lot of stone blanks, whether it's for the students to use and finalize the shape and form out of that blank, or for myself to use, like I said, when I'm on a walkabout or some sort of earth roam. I knap and continue to knap very similar shapes, and most of these blanks were, ovate in nature, elongated, with a rounded base or a flat bottom. Now, all 11 of these blanks range from about 13.5 centimeters or 5.31 inches to about 10 centimeters or 3.94 inches. So they're not the biggest, but it leads a napper to recover these blanks and then turn them into some sort of hunting point or some sort of cutting or crafting tool. It makes sense. It's kind of like a one-stop shop where you already have some pre-made items. You're on a walkabout, you're out hunting, or you're returning to an area seasonally, you already have knap stone on hand. As I continue to read the article, I came to the interpretations of what the cache was and kind of what it meant. And this report or interpretation was compiled by Wayne C. Young on handwritten notes and sketches from the 1970s. Editing arrangements and the addition of a map, metrics description, and color photos were done by Ryan Murray in May of 2025. So between Ryan Murray and Wayne C. Young, with 50 years in between them, the interpretations are pretty accurate in my opinion. Common for a lot of paleo sites, late archaic sites, to have various stone caches, especially if there's a seasonal occupation. When a closer look was given to the 11 bifaces, they showed no wear. No hafting, no polishing, no edge wear, nothing. They were left untouched and ready for future use. To me, the 11 bifaces, the cache itself, sitting on top of the broken metate, screams a seasonal use, someone returning to an area to do some future hunting at a later date and already having tools, preforms, blanks ready to go when they need them. Now, peoples all around the world have been caching stone tools for various reasons. And when we think of some pretty famous caches around the world, one, we have the Fen cache in North America, specifically in Wyoming, dating to that Clovis culture about 13,000 years ago. 56 beautifully made unused Clovis points and bifaces were recovered. There's no signs of use, possibly a ritual deposit, offering, or a toolkit made for future use that was never retrieved. In the UK, we have the Boxgrove cache. This dates to about 500,000 years ago and was specifically created by Homo heidelbergensis. Numerous hand axes left in a flint-rich zone. Now, why this matters is they were likely staged near a butchery area. This kind of shows a logistical foresight where tools were pre-deposited in useful places for task-specific use. And then we also have the Rejects cache in Kenya. This is in the Rift Valley about 900,000 years ago, and there are dozens upon dozens of rough stone tools and flakes. This might reflect a learning zone or kind of a workshop or classroom. This could represent an early teaching behavior or a key marker of cognitive evolution. Now imagine if we were trying to learn how to make rough hand axes, you'd probably have some broken ones, some discarded ones, or some rejects as you might call them, left in place, and the good ones are taken away and used for various tasks and purposes. I think that the caching of stone tools is one of those highly overlooked kind of aspects of our human cognition and evolution. We, and various versions of us, had forethought. We had planning. Caching was a survival practice, a social strategy, and often a symbolic act, reflecting ancient people's foresight, adaptability, and deep connection to the land. From resupply kits to ritual offerings, caches reveal needs both practical and profound. Survival, teaching, memory, and identity. If you don't subscribe to Texas Cache Magazine, I recommend you do it. It's a pretty amazing magazine. I love reading it. There's always cool finds, cool bits of history, and this is how you dive deeper into that ancient world. All right. Appreciate you watching.